Hey, what's up everyone? I want to talk about a few things for this video. It's actually just going to be a random video. But I'm very congested again. I've been sick. My daddy's been sick. And now my mama has this, it seems. So I hope it goes away quickly. And we're going through some tough financial times as well. But I'm still going to try to make videos as much as I possibly can and feel like. So this video is going to be about President Trump. And several other topics. But first, there was an individual talking with us last Saturday, and he was stating, he was a believer in Jesus Christ, and oh my, he was a believer in Jesus Christ, and he said, I'm spiritual. He was spiritual, and he didn't define it as a religion. I agreed with all of that. I understand all of that, and he talked about how the Christian religion goes back. Whoops, sorry. He talked how far it goes back and all this stuff, and the arguments people had over. He said, I believe in Jesus Christ, and that is that. I agreed with all of that, but the more I got to thinking about the first thing he stated, he helped this elderly white man, and that individual was talking to me. He seemed like a very nice elderly man, and he was talking to me, and he thought I seemed like a nice person, and I enjoyed talking to him, but the one thing I disagreed with on this, the black man that was talking to us, he was actually a preacher. He used to be a preacher, but he stopped preaching because of the church wanted him to go to college and spend over $200,000. And it cost over $200,000. It's all about that money to become a preacher, an expert in the field. And he stated he wasn't doing that. And they wouldn't let him go there anymore because of it. But the thing is, one thing I disagreed with is he stated that President Trump, he said the problem is we have a president now that's promoting hate. We don't have a president that's promoting hate. I should have stopped listening right when he said that. But the thing is, and I said I was like, not necessarily. I don't really agree with that. And he says, well, see, here's where I disagree with you. He said, when you've got a president, he's up there talking about hate and bringing all kinds of blah, 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 separation and hate and yada, yada. He's not promoting the hate. He allowed, that the alerts are coming up about my phone case, but he allowed, by the way, which I wouldn't have been able to get without anything like that I've gotten without the donations to my PayPal. I would not have been able to gotten my new phone. I would not have been able to gotten the case for it. My S5, my new S5, it's got a better processor and everything, it seems. So, I wouldn't have been able to got any of that without the donations. And we're going through a tough time right now again. And just as I thought, the bank's in the negatives. So the bank account went into the negatives, and we're gonna have to pay bills this week. And we paid paid the phone bill, and now that we paid that, it came in late. They put it in late. The bank didn't put it in till later, and AT&T didn't process it till later. And then boom, now we're gonna be in the negatives. So yeah, and then we have more bills to pay next week, and the paycheck's gonna be lower the following week, and it's just going to be a big mess. But that's not the topic of this video. I don't believe that the president's promoting hate. I don't believe that he gave freedom of speech back to the people. And then those hate groups took that freedom of speech and utilized it for their own negative agenda. They utilized it for promoting their hate. Those the Nazi groups, the neo-Nazi groups, the KKK, and all of that crap was promoted. And the black people that hate white people, they calling them all crackers and cracker this and blah blah blah, and the people spouting, they want to kill all the which I'm not going to say on YouTube, which black people, they say that to each other all the time. For some reason, they feel like they can just say that to each other, and I think, like Steve Harvey stated, if it's so offensive, don't use it in your music, and don't use it in your media, your shows, movies. Don't use it with each other like it's just another hey buddy term. And just like you don't see white people going, hey, what's up, cracker? We don't do that. But one thing I agree with is it's promoted in schools. And he said, I don't see he said, just like me, I hold the door open for everyone. I hold the doors open for every type of person. And when President Trump got in there, he said, "Hey, this got to stop." And he stated that black man that was talking to us stated that the president was promoting it. Was he even awake during the previous administration? Police officers being shot, especially white officers. Black on black crime was up. Blacks and whites fighting. There was pretty much almost a race war people were thinking we were going into. South Park even made a parody episode of it called World War Z, World War Zimmerman, and there was a whole ordeal going on then. There was a whole, and he said, I think we're leading into a civil war. That's what he felt like. And he said, I don't like what's going on, the separation and hate. He said, I've never seen a more divided time in this entire nation. Well, here's the thing. President Trump didn't start that. He didn't start it. We were being oppressed during the previous administration. They were taking a lot of, enforcing a whole lot of rules. You couldn't do this, you couldn't do that, you couldn't do everything you could think of was being enforced. They were about to outlaw wood stoves. They were outlawing you to help on the farm because it was considered child labor. President Obama was outlawing several things. He was creating more monetarization of every single individual. You couldn't even go in. They were about to enforce the microchip law. He enforced the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the TPP, which was disastrous for us. President Trump was correct on that. And it actually entailed several parts of the medical system and control for microchipping and all of that. But people didn't think about it. They're like, oh, let's just follow along with it. And he was getting right beside Pope with this with his talks and but yet all of this meanwhile all of the violence was going on in this country. There were school shootings more than we're seeing now. There were bombings, school shootings, there were homegrown terrorists everywhere. There were terrorist attacks happening all across this nation. And they were happening all across the United States. Shootings everywhere. Police officers being shot, innocent civilians being shot all the time. And then it was spreading worldwide. The Islamic State was rampant. And they stated those were the greatest years. Why? Because he could get up there and speak cordially and professionally or something? That's the only thing I see. There was so much negativity going on during that time. But the individual that spoke with us, yes, he was a black man, but I've had black people that didn't support President Obama. And I've seen many black people support President Trump. And there are some white people that supported President Obama as well. It just depends on who you support. It used to people didn't hate you for who you supported. But the point is, hate is promoted in schools. It is taught in schools. He said children don't hate another person because of what they're like. He said it's taught to them. And I don't necessarily agree with all of that. It's not really necessarily taught. Some people just have it in them that way, period. But they do teach hate in schools, though. They hate believers in Jesus Christ. They promote hate in that way. They pretty much force them to. Just if you are a believer in Jesus Christ or even mention God, you're ousted, you're ostracized, you're hated. You'll be hated for his name's sake. It states that in prophecy. But President Trump has gotten more things done than any previous administration that he actually stated he was going to do. And he is not the one that is creating that hate and fueling that hate. Those hate groups are taking advantage of the freedom of speech that's been reinstated and utilizing it to create their own hate and spread their lies and hatred. But he didn't create it. See, there's so much that's happening in this world right now, and there's so much that I want to talk about. I don't know when I'll be able to talk next. We've been going through this major, I thought I had gotten rid of it, and then it came back. Then my my daddy got a fever and a sore throat, and a sore throat, and he started getting all this mess, so I don't feel like talking much longer right now. He's on the road right now. We're just doing the best we can. I don't know. We'll probably have a short check next week, and We're in the negatives this week. And then we've got a bunch of bills to pay, and then it's just, oh boy. Any donations are greatly appreciated and would help out a lot. But yeah, this hate that's going on, no, it's not right at all. But the president did not start and promote this hate. I don't hate anyone. I don't walk up to a person and just say, I hate you because of what you are. There's nice people in every type of person that I've walked up to. For some reason, Hindus seem to really like me. They all call me, hey buddy. They all say, hey buddy, and call me buddy. I don't know what it is about the Hindus, but they really seem to they all seem to be very fond of me. The people from India. But I just don't know why they blame the president, this administration, for the hate. And they won't let him do anything that needs to be done. I don't agree with all of the tariffs necessarily that are happening, that he's doing. He's making some negative mistakes. And if they'd left him alone, I think he could have worked with the Koreas. But Korea always has their own agenda. North Korea always has their own agenda for things. I don't really see them being honest and telling the truth. And actually, I don't really, just like many other people have told me before. Speaking of which, by the way, Tom Heekin mentioned that. And I'd like to know what happened to Tom Heekin. Are you okay? And Jose Martinez, are you doing all right? And so many other individuals. Almadea, let's see. Always Thinking, I haven't heard from you in a long time. In this existence, Sean Indigo used to make, for some reason, I actually spoke to him and stated that he made videos every single day now in this reality, this world. And for me, he had not made videos in years. He quit years ago, and then all of a sudden he'd been making them every day. I told him about that, and he said, that's the way it goes. But I would like to know why people blame the president for all this hate that's being spread. People are utilizing freedom of speech to spread their own hate, self-bigotry, and violence. Anyway, that's all for this video. If you'd like to help out with donations, please do so. My links are below. As always, this is Spaced Out Productions signing out, and whenever I feel well enough, I'll try to make a video next. Peace, much love. Bye.